Hi, welcome to Educate Us. I'm Tyler DePasquale. Our first story today focuses on a new community program aimed at helping young males transition from boyhood to manhood.
Partnership with the Schenectady City School District and a couple of community leaders.
This program is called Boys to Men. That's what we're calling it. We just started it. We've been meeting for the past 2.5 months. This is our first event. This whole event is about interacting with the young people of Schenectady, young males of Schenectady School District as positive role models.
Well, my role here is to provide support and to be a mentor.
These young men have limited opportunities outside of school, in my opinion, to see positive male role models.
Academically, emotionally, recreationally, try to keep them on track, make sure that we give them other alternatives than violence and things of that nature.
Because they see that we're willing to make the sacrifice to be here, because we all work, but yet we've taken time from our jobs to be here with them because they're important to us.
We can help one another out, like stay with each other, protect one another, so that we don't go like the wrong direction, just go the right direction with each other.
You have to build a relationship, and you have to build it over time.
See, they need help. That there are people out here who are willing to help them, who don't work for the school district, who are not related to them, but who are willing to give them the assistance that they need to really make positive decisions as they get older.
What should you do in a situation in school? I'm saying to school, and you got this person wants to fight you. Some of y'all know where I'm going with this. What do you do?
Depending on what it is, maybe like see what it is, chill it out. Sometimes we can fight for it.
Going through the same experiences, we want to come together and start that process of sharing and being together.
My story is a lot different. Some of y'all might want to learn from my story. You hear what all they just explained, college and everything. My college and my education was prison. That's where I got my education. So didn't see universities, didn't see a lot because I chose to make a lot of bad decisions. So I'm here for that, to show y'all can make faults, make mistakes, spin it around and grow from there.
We're hoping to reach out to the other middle schools. At this point, we only have Schenectady High School and Mount Pleasant Middle School. We're hoping to reach out to the other middle schools and eventually the elementary schools, where some of us adults will actually go to these schools and interact with these kids on their turf during their lunch periods, even if it's just to go to the gym with them for 15 minutes just to work a little frustration off or whatever the case may be, but just so that they could see that we're there.
While most boys experience athletic competition as a part of growing up, one community member spoke on competition of a different kind.
The most important thing in life, no matter what it is that you do, be the best that you can be at it. And the reason why I say that, whether you choose to go to college or in a trade, you're competing against other people at the end of the day for a job, right? So when people say, well, I don't want to go to school, or I don't want to take what I'm doing seriously, there's somebody ahead of you that's going to take whatever it is that they're doing seriously. You know, I wasn't a kid that went to college right away either. I used to like to hang out with my friends and, do all the same things that a lot of kids do today. And I had a real epiphany one time. I'm going to tell you a story that is very embarrassing. I went one day for a job interview. And the lady, and this was in New York City, in the Wall Street kind of like business area. And the lady comes in and she says to me, okay, I think I was like, I just turned 16. And nice office building, I go up in the office building, go to get the job, the lady puts this document in front of me. The document's about a page long, and she said, just read it. And I could not read the thing thoroughly. And right then and there I knew I needed to fix some things about myself. So what I did was I dedicated myself to make sure that I could be the best possible reader that I could be. Sometimes you only get one shot at life sometimes. And you gotta make the most of it when you're young. And so I was a kid that I didn't like to read, I liked to hang out with my friends and do these things. And when I had that experience, it made me realize, wait a minute. If I'm competing against other people, I gotta be at least as good as the person that's coming after the same position that I want.
Students in G. McCrum's second grade class at Hamilton Elementary have been getting letters, pictures, and postcards throughout the year from places they never heard of. Thanks to some adventurous bears, her students are now experiencing cultures from all over the world.
This bear probably flew on an airplane through mail, not swimming through the ocean, and probably not by car, probably through the mail. Where did he fly to?
Texas.
Texas. I mail out a travel bear to someone, and that person has directions, and they have a journal, and they have the travel bear, and they're asked to visit with the travel bear, do fun things, and do things in the community that they live, and tell us about their community. And then in the directions, it tells them to take the journal and the travel bear and to ship it off or mail it out to someone far away that they think they would do this. It also says to send back emails to us and postcards throughout the year, which we do get. This is a United States map, and there's a world map right there. And as the postcards and emails come through and pictures come through all year long, and letters, we go over the postcards, we read them and the letters, and we look at the pictures, and then we come out here, we place them around the map, and we put a string to where they actually are. Over on the world map, we actually have a picture of a bear that went to Stonehenge. And it's hard to see, but you can actually see the bear in front of Stonehenge in England, which we think is the best thing.
Teddy went up into the mountains of the
Southern
Alps.
They read about it in front of the class, they get excited, and as soon as they see the map, and then we bring up things online and on the smart board, then they want to go there and they discuss it, but they get really excited because it's their personal bear. Her bear's in a different country. Her bear visited a couple different places. In May, we get between May and the beginning of June, we get all of the journals back, or a lot of the journals back. And we invite a lot of the parents who got the bears locally and people who are involved with this. And they sit around with our students, and each student gets to read a couple journal entries and share their favorite thing their bear did. One of the places that I would say that most of my students have gone to is Schenectady. It's amazing because some of the people who didn't have people far away to send it to, they're told they can take their bears in Schenectady and go to different places in Schenectady to teach us about. And that's when the parents have been involved. They bring them to Central Park, they bring them to Proctor's to take pictures, they bring them to the Stockade, they bring them to GE, things like that. So, and I think that's just as important as going to faraway places. But yeah, they have gone to some faraway places too, but they learn a lot more about Schenectady.
At the age of 10, Gabriel Ball Dang was forced to leave his family in war-torn Sudan. All alone, he crossed the Nile River and many miles of desert to reach Ethiopia. Dang is now an educator in the United States, and he's recently told his story to students at Martin Luther King Elementary School.
So that is the meaning of courage, that when you are faced with obstacles, there is always a good way, there is a bad way. And the key word is the courage. Either should you go on bad way or should you go in good way. So I made the courageous decision to swim across the Nile. Not everybody made it. Some of my own friends were swallowed by a crocodile. Some were swept away by a strong current of water. But I try, I get my best. I try, I work hard and I cross it.
I said, how did you feel when you experienced that situation when you were in the Nile River? He said, hope. That's the main reason, hope.
And then I had to run across the desert for 2 months. 2 months. There was we carried some water on Nile, and then after two weeks there was no more water. There was no more food, so ending up eating soil and eating mud. And sometimes when we find small trees, we dig underneath the tree to eat the mud and eat the roots to squeeze out water from the leaves. And I was limping. I was limping because I had snake bite in the desert, and I could not walk properly.
Well, the first thing that ran through my mind was, he must be bionic. He must have like some kind of special ability, someone looking over him, something. And I was like, he must be really blessed.
Gabriel came to the U.S. in 2001. He's working on his master's degrees in education. Last year, he helped establish a school in his native Sudanese village that enrolls 500 students. He said one of his biggest challenges since coming to the U.S. was learning how to drive.
And I failed my road test 3 times. But I was able to remember, why am I not passing road tests? And I was able to remember what my parents told me, that when you are failing, stop blaming others, stop blaming your teachers and your parents and your friends, but look deep inside you and find out the reason, inside your heart, and find out the reason why you are failing. And after you know, you need to make sacrifices to overcome what is preventing you from succeeding.
A lot of people would quit. He didn't quit. It's like one of those people that try and try.
And he was like, maybe I can't do this, maybe. But he kept on pushing, because he had that knowledge of his parents, his father. He said if you can move Mount Kilimanjaro, his father and his mother and everyone around him was giving him advice when they was together. He learned.
Whatever your teachers are teaching you, whatever your mom is teaching you, will not stay there. You have to keep it with you. And believe me or not, in your life, your mom will not be there, your teachers will be there, but all wonderful education that they are teaching you, if you pay attention now, all these lessons will stay with you.
By now, most of our viewers know that Schenectady High School has been recognized nationally for its programs in the arts. In this closing segment, we cover Mrs. Wayne's ceramics class and their culminating Tea Party project.
Well, my Tea Party is a culminating event for the students. We look at production pottery and pottery ceramics as craft, and each student is designing a coffee or tea set. They get real excited knowing that we're going to have this culminating party where we actually use the tea sets. I bring in coffee, tea, hot chocolate, and so we talk about creating the work yourself and then selling it at a crafts fair where big companies like Macy's or Target might come and then purchase and order. So not only are you going to make one set of 2 to 4 cups with their saucers, but you would actually have to make 50 sets if that's what they ordered from you. You'd be making a lot of money if you charge so much per set. So the final tea party is where I give them an assessment. They can think about and reflect on what they did, the choices they made, the problem solving that they had to go through to get their design to work for them. A handle is it a 2-finger handle, or is it a full hand on that handle, or are you not having handles? So all these skills are learning how to use clay, but it's also basic design. Form follows function, we say in the pottery ceramic world. If it's supposed to be a cup, it should be soft to your lips, and it shouldn't have sharp edges that you're going to poke yourself in the eye. It should be comfortable to your hand when you're washing that item, smooth on the bottom. So craftsmanship is really important. And I always tell my students, it should be built in a way where people say, wow, how did you make that? Not, oh, I saw what you made, how you made that. So it can be gallery ready. Everything is finished. And there's a certain pride in that. There's a certain following through on the task. And it can be challenging for some students. And the kids amaze me at the designs that they come up with because they're all individual. Each student has their own likes and dislikes. And it's a lot of fun to see what they come up with.